Hello, my name is Lauren Searles. The title of my presentation is St. Michan's Church and Unusual Occupants. The subject of this presentation is St. Michan's Church and Crypt. This photo shows a street view of St. Michan's Church and Crypt in Dublin, Ireland. According to Choose Ireland, this plain-looking medieval chapel does not stand out. Most Dubliners are unaware that St. Michan's is a tourist attraction. The geographic theme that the focus of this presentation is about is place. Matt Rosenberg of About Geography says that place describes the human and physical characteristics of a location. St. Michan's Church and Crypt has very unique characteristics. The St. Michan's Church and Crypt is located in Dublin, Ireland. Dublin can be broken into provinces, counties, cities, villages, and neighborhoods. St. Michan's Church and Crypt can be found within Leinster Province, the most populated one. The church and crypt are then found within Dublin County, Dublin City, the village of Smithfield, and the neighborhood of North City Centre. The locals refer to this neighborhood as town. This illustration depicts the different villages within Dublin. Smithfield, where the church and crypt are located, has the red box around it. In the beginning, St. Michan's Church and Crypt was founded in the year 1095 AD. But who were the founders? Leinster Province and St. Michan's Church and Crypt were founded by Vikings. The Vikings migrated from Scandinavia, northeast of Ireland. The Vikings took control of Dublin after a battle that took place on Good Friday in 1014 AD. The church and crypt were founded approximately 80 years later. According to the Vikings, this map of Ireland shows the monastic settlements which were raided by the Vikings, as well as showing Viking settlements. Dublin is located beneath the G and S of the word Vikings. Where? When the Vikings first constructed the church, it was at the edge of a woodland. Today, the church is found at the center of the city. Resources. There are many theories and speculations as to what the Vikings used to construct St. Michan's Church and Crypt. One theory is that the vault is built with limestone. Another idea is that oak was used to build the church. But why is this important? You decide. The crypt. A special characteristic of St. Michan's Church is its crypts. The crypts located beneath the church are so special because the bodies inside have mummified. However, not all of these mummies appear like this illustration. Mummies in Ireland? Not intentional. When St. Michan's was built, the Vikings did not intentionally want there to be mummies in the crypt. There are different ideologies of how and why the bodies found in the crypt are so well preserved. These theories relate back to the resources the Vikings used in building St. Michan's Church and Crypt. Limestone. The first theory as to why the mummies are preserved is because of the limestone used in the basement of the crypt. According to Atlas Obscura, scientists believe that this makes the basement particularly dry, therefore good for mummification. This is a map showing the Carboniferous limestone in Ireland. As you can see from the red box, deepwater limestone is abundant in region where Dublin, the city in which St. Michan's Church and Crypt resides. Oak. Another idea is that oak was used to build the church, therefore acting as a preservative. Atlas Obscura states that the presence of oak wood in the soil or the building materials used in the church have helped preserve the bodies. Swamp. Another speculation about why the bodies are mummified is that St. Michan's foundation lies where a swamp once did. This speculation accounts that methane gas preserved the bodies due to the swamp. This photo from Atlas Obscura displays the outdoor entrance into the crypt beneath the church. Coffins. The bodies of St. Michan's might be mummified, but the coffins are decaying. It is thought that the same cause is making these two separate reactions. The deterioration of the coffins have slowly been revealing the corpses over time. After a while, the mummies fall out of their coffins. The church does not help with the process of opening the coffins. It could help them bring in more tourists by having more mummies on display, but it is ethically and morally wrong for them to do so. The church awaits for the mummies to reveal themselves. The Big Four. No, I am not talking about the auditing firms. I'm talking about the Big Four mummies that are on display at St. Michan's Church and Crypt. These are referred to as the Big Four because they are unconcealed the most. This photo from Atlas Obscura shows mummies inside and outside of their coffins. These are the Big Four displayed together. There are only 2 crypts open for viewing, and this happens to be one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Crusader. The mummy in the back belongs to the 800-year-old Crusader. This is the oldest mummy in the crypt. It is unknown how his body came to the crypt, since the Crusades were fought in the Middle Ages. It is speculated that he either died during a battle or he died shortly after returning back to Dublin. The Crusader was 6 foot 6 feet tall. He would have stood over a foot above the average person of that era. His arm slightly sticks out of the coffin, but you cannot really tell from this view. Tour guides allow for visitors to touch his hand for good luck. They can even shake it if they want to, but they must be careful or a finger might snap off. The Nun. Legend says that the mummy to the left belongs to a nun. This body is known as the Nun because of the small frame. The Thief. The third mummy in the crypt is known as the Thief. He has one hand removed and both feet removed. This was either due to punishment from being a thief or to fit in the coffin. Legend says that the thief later reformed into a priest or a very admired man by the community. This accounts for how the thief was buried in the church. The Unknown. The fourth mummy in this crypt is known, frankly, as the Unknown. It is a mystery as to who this body is. Sher brothers. The Sher brothers were executed by the British and buried in the crypt. They were both lawyers from Ireland and were executed during the 1798 rebellion. Both brothers were a part of the Society of United Irishmen. This photo from Slate shows where the brothers John and Henry Shares are buried. Their coffins were replaced in 1998 with the bicentennial of their death. It was discovered that the standard British punishment for traitors had been enacted when these coffins were opened. The bodies had been hanged, drawn, and quartered. Rebuilding and restorations. St. Michan's Church and Crypt had to be rebuilt in 1686. The most recent restoration of the church took place in 1998. Although the church has been rebuilt and restored, the crypts located beneath the church have remained the same. The organ. The organ inside St. Michan's is one of the oldest in Ireland. It is believed that George Frederick Handel debuted the Messiah inside St. Michan's Church. Handel, a composer that migrated from Europe for composition and performances. Here is a picture of the organ that George Frederick Handel used. It is still in use today at St. Michan's Church and Crypt. According to Great Ancestors World Museum, a panel on the organ gallery is carved from a single block of wood, portraying a series of musical instruments in high relief. Visiting St. Michan's. Want to learn more about St. Michan's Church and Crypt? How about a hop and skip to Dublin to visit the mummies? St. Michan's is open on Saturdays during the year and weekdays amidst the summer months. Since St. Michan's is an active church, it is closed on Sundays and religious holidays to the public. Members of this church are allowed to worship in private on those days. A virtual tour. This YouTube video is going to be a virtual tour of St. Michan's Church and Crypt. Citations. Here are a few of my citations from this presentation. Here are some more citations. Here are some more. Lastly, this is my last slide of citations. This concludes my presentation entitled St. Michan's Church and Unusual Occupants. If you have any questions about the presentation or would like to have more information on the citations, please use this contact information. My email is lauren.searles691@topper.wku.edu. Thank you.